did we do before the?
Say that again?
I was wondering what did we do before to get us both in the frame.
I think we was using that.
No, we always use the phone. We were, but that doesn't seem to work. We gotta try it again.
Hello, hello. What you want for Christmas this year?
Hey, Wanda.
Hey, Wanda.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, Cheryl. Want me to surprise you?
Mm-hmm. We gotta do a trip. Hey, everybody.
Hey, hey, hey. How's it going, everybody?
Hey, Sheila. Hey, surviving narcissism. Okay. Hey, Dia. Hey, Shanita.
How's it going? How's it going? Happy Tuesday, everybody.
It's beautiful weather out. I'm surprised. Well, I was gonna say, I'm surprised we're not on somebody's patio eating dinner.
Because it's Tuesday. And this is Wednesday. And that might be where we are
Oh,
tomorrow.
duh, because it's Tuesday.
Yeah.
Duh. Oh, I didn't even think about that.
But you know what will be good, though, now that you bring that up, is being able to do a live outside, you know?
This message is held for review, so it must not be good. Hey, Keisha. Hey, Simply Kate. So I'm going from hot to cold, hot to cold, hot to cold. Hey, Beverly Green. Not feeling my best today. Hey, sending love from Nigeria. Hey, Emmanuel.
Pad it out just in case I need to write some notes of some questions.
Oh, you got some questions?
Well, they may say something that
Sparks.
trigger.
Oh, hey, Simply Kate Love from Kenya. Yeah, I would love to go to Kenya. Hey, precious one.
Live.
Hey, hey, Kingdom Business. Hey, Tracy. Good to see you.
How's everybody doing? Oh, I
Oh,
did.
Wanda, you gonna be in Kenya next year? Are you speaking there? Hey, Diane.
That's big time.
Yeah, Wanda's always going somewhere and doing something. Wanda just had a. Did you know Wanda was on a billboard in Times Square a couple of months ago? A couple of weeks ago.
That's big time. That's big time.
Wanda always doing something. Okay, yep, you're speaking in Kenya. Okay. Hey, Sheila Richards. Oh, thank you, Sheila. That I'm telling you, son. When I tell y'all, the Lord has really been. You know, how you feel like sometimes the Lord got you in the corner, and it's almost like I got myself on timeout, on standstill, because I feel the Lord speaking, and I don't want to miss it. And it's almost like I don't want to move. You know how you land in a bed and you hear something, and you like you real like quiet, so you want to know where the noise is coming from. That's how I'm feeling these last couple of weeks. And so yes, 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 yeah, I want to go to South Africa. I want to go to Kenya.
Y'all hear that, right?
But
We're going to go grocery shopping on the way over there.
I'm telling you, I went to when I first, this is years and years ago, lots of years ago, decades ago. When I first went to Cancun, I had a culture shock, and I got sick because I couldn't eat. First of all, I've always been a picky eater. If my mother's on here, she can tell you. Um, I didn't start eating Chinese food until I was 15 years old, and then I stopped eating it about 10 years later. So I've always been a picky eater. Um, but I went to Cancun. We went on a girls' trip to Cancun, and I had a culture shock with the food, and even their like, not, I don't want to say American food, but even like the food that's regular, like steak and stuff, I couldn't eat it for whatever reason. I got sick, and so the people at the hotel, at the resort, they were like, there's a Walmart. You can take the bus to the Walmart. So we got in this hot bus, and we rode all the way to the Walmart. I was like, if I get to the Walmart, he's just as worse, Tracy. I said, if I get to the Walmart, um, I'm not gonna find a bag of potato chips or something. We got to Walmart, and everything was in Spanish. All the all the writing on the bags, everything was Spanish. And so, you talking about some black American girls ain't know nothing from nothing. And so none of us took foreign language in high school, sad to say. And so I grabbed the first bag of potato chips I could get. We got back on the bus, and I opened up the bag of potato chips, and I did something nasty. I couldn't even eat it. And so the lady on the I said, "What is this?" And the lady on the bus said, "Oh, it's ketchup flavored Lay's." I said, "Oh my God." And so the whole time I was there, it's gotten better since, but the whole time I was there, I survived. It was like for a whole week. I survived off of the cookies, the gourmet cookies that were in the hotel. That's all I could eat the whole time. So we say that to say, going to Africa, my sister lives there. She has dual citizenship, and so she's been trying to get us to come over. And yeah, I don't know. But I do want to go to Kenya, and I do want to go to South Africa. That's like been on my, like, that's where I really want to go. I know. 90%. And my best friend was um well, she was from Panama, but she didn't go on this trip that we went, but you would think that I would know some Spanish. I know a little bit just to get by, but yeah. Yes, we would love to come to Kenya though. So, anyway, hey y'all. Hey, hey, hey.
How's it going, everybody? For those of you, this is your first time, we're Terrence and Jill, a God-Ordained union, and we are here to simply increase God-Ordained unions.
Yes, yes.
So you're in the right place at the right time.
Y'all in the right place. So if this is your first time on our channel, we are here to encourage you because we know that a lot of you want your person, and we want your person with you and for you. We understand we were in the waiting room for a really long time. And so on this channel, we encourage you. We also help you to see some things that could be blocking you, some things that we went through personally, some things that we were blocked in, and uh, just knowing and growing, and a lot of things we found out after the fact. But even now, I mean, there's some mindsets that had to be broken. There's some things that we were doing and not doing that was keeping us stagnant in some very dry places. It was cycle after cycle. And so I know for both of us, I think we both got to the place where we got sick and tired of being sick and tired and started to do some things differently. So, yeah, so here we are. We go live every Tuesday.
Yep, at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep, and we do pre-recorded videos. We drop them every Sunday and every
Thursday
Thursday.
at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Yep, and tonight the private group is meeting. We have a private group that meets on Zoom every first and third Tuesday from 8 p.m. to 10 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So right after this, right after we hang up, those who are in the private group, we are definitely meeting. The Lord gave me a word for you all, and so I've got to share it. Whoever's going to be on in the private group tonight, I've got to share it because it's been heavy for the last 48 hours or so. And so yes, yes, yes. Also, if you want to join the private group, let me tell you something. If you're going to try to join like right now to try to get on that 8, it may not be possible. For whatever reason, it's like, I don't know why it's doing this. This is a new platform that we have, that we are doing the membership through MemberPress. And so for whatever reason, it seems like those who try to join within the hour of, it seems like those who are trying to join, when they all try to log in at the same time, it, for whatever reason, they can't get in for whatever reason. If you want to join us, go to our website. You can try. If not, the replay will be up, and you will be able to get in the private area at some point this week. To join the private group, it's only $11 a month. Portion of that goes back to our foundation, and you can cancel at any time. You can go to our website, www.agodordainedunion.com, www.agodordainedunion.com, and you will see it on the homepage. Just scroll down, and you'll see join the private group, God Ordained Connections. So yes, yes, yes. Oh, the prayer call. The prayer call every Friday night at 11:50 p.m.
p.m. Eastern Standard Time.
Eastern Standard Time, 11:50 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We do intercessory prayer. We don't host it. It's hosted by my mother, Pastor Joyce Chase. And it's about 2 hours, so it goes into midnight, because there's something powerful about midnight prayer. And so every single Friday night, I don't think they've ever not done it since like almost a year, going on 2 years. So every single Friday night they're on praying. So yes, we invite you. Blessings to you too, Shanita, to join us in prayer on Friday nights. The information for the prayer call is also on our website at God-Ordained What else? So we are, the group is meeting at 8 right after this, private group. Something else I was gonna say. You were up till 2 a.m. Oh, that's light. We've been on that. One time we were on that prayer call to 6:30 a.m. Well, okay, let me stop lying. My mother and the people were on there till 6:30 a.m. I think we logged off about 4. But yeah, sometimes they go, oh, there she is right there. There's my mother right there. Let me pin my mother. Mom, you have a YouTube channel? Mother, is that your YouTube channel? Oh, did I pin it? Yes. Ma, if that's your YouTube channel, y'all please go follow my mother. Please, her channel. I don't know what's on there. Might not be nothing on there. But yes, But the prayer call information is on our website, on the calendar. Oh, okay. So I don't know how that works. How people don't have a channel, but they can log on to YouTube. I never knew how that works. So yeah. So the information is on the website. What else?
I think that's about it
Yeah.
for as far as announcements.
Yeah. I do want to reiterate. So we did a video that dropped on Sunday about this is when you'll know your person, and we basically broke down 1 Corinthians 13. You'll know your person because your person will be there. And one of the things that we said was that you have to go all in. You have to go all in. And somebody made a comment and said that
That's the question.
yeah, they asked the question, what does going all in mean? Does that mean not going in with fear? And we just wanted to just reiterate that that's exactly what it means. We've been saying go all in for the last couple of weeks. We had mentioned it one time when we were doing a dating video. Like if you go on a date with someone, you've got to go all in. It doesn't mean that you're not guarding your heart. It means that you're going all in, meaning that you're not going in with your representative. You're not going with a wall up. And the person who made the comment the other day, she said, does it mean that you're not going in with fear? That's exactly what it means, that you're not going in with fear, because the opposite of love is fear. It's not hate, it's fear. So when you go all in with anything, go all in, you going in by faith, knowing that God's got you, knowing that he's protecting you, knowing that you cannot lose, knowing that it's a win-win regardless if it works out with the person or not. It's going all in. And so we wanted to reiterate that. And also the other part of that is that in that video, we wanted to make it clear that when you are in love, when in the realm of 1 Corinthians 13, and that's in love with the Father as well, it does not mean you're perfect. It does not mean that until you are perfect, that's when God is going to show you your person. It doesn't mean that at all. It means that you are in the realm of love and you're in the realm of a perfect God. And so even your imperfections, they could be, you don't have to be perfect to get the things of God. And so a lot of people, it, God can bring your person in any type of condition that you're in. The flip side of that, though, is what's happening is that a lot of people are carrying traumas and issues that are, one, repelling people or even blocking themselves. So there's a lot of people who are carrying baggage or issues that they say they want their person, but there is a spirit that they're carrying is saying, no, I don't want the person. So sometimes there's a need to get some deliverance and some healing in some areas. Where's she said, where's the realm of love and how do you get there? We broke that down. 1 Corinthians 13. 1 Corinthians 13.
Yeah, and something I like to say also about going all in. Going all in also means you're not keeping one foot out so you can turn back. You know what I mean? You have to go, you have to be committed completely. Because it does so many things for you. You have to be committed to the process, because if you don't, then what you're doing is cheating yourself and the other person out of an opportunity to even know if it's actually going to work, because you're not giving everything that it takes to make it work.
Mm-hmm. Right.
So you can't cheat yourself. You don't want to cheat yourself. You're looking for the one. You're not looking for just anybody. You're looking for the one. So you want to give 100% effort and go all in to make sure that if that is the one, then you're giving every opportunity for that to work.
Yeah.
And for you to know that that's the one.
In addition to that, even as we had outlined in that video, when you go all in when receiving the Holy Spirit, when you receive the Lord, going all in the natural, when you doing things in the natural, whether it's a job or joining a new church or joining a, befriending someone, it is also the same replica of going all in. Whether it's a new relationship, it's going all in. And so and not to just have one foot out and one foot in, because the word also says a double-minded man is unstable in all of his ways. And so you're wondering why you're getting half results, is because you have not really surrendered all to anything. Maybe it might be just teetering and teetering and between two different aspects of yourself, or even just
Yeah, you tiptoeing around it. You just
tiptoe
sticking your toe in. You're
yeah,
not jumping in.
yeah, and that comes from the spirit of fear. That is the spirit of fear that does that. It's like, well, I'm gonna see what this is. I'm gonna see what he talking about. And you will never know the person, because we always say when you go all in, it literally creates the environment for that other person to be able to be themselves as well. So, um, yeah, Tracy, you're right. But sometimes that's easier said than done. There's a lot of people who are, believe it or not, operating out of hesitation. They're guarded. They're operating out of fear. And a lot of people are saying that, but they're doing. So I kind of understand, but it goes past our understanding. Like some things, most things, everything you do, you got to do it without really kind of, you're not going to get the full, well, give me signs, tell me this, you're not going to get the full picture. Life, you got to take faith moves. You got to take faith moves. And so, yeah.
And here's how you know when you're ready to do that. Because all of this is based upon your faith.
Yeah, it is.
You're willing to commit. What most people don't realize is your level of commitment in anything is directly linked to your faith, your level of faith. Mm-hmm. If you trust something, if you believe in something wholeheartedly, 100%, and it's in your heart, you're going to give 100%.
You're going to give 100%.
But if you only believe 50%, then that's what your effort, that's what your commitment is going to be. And honestly, you can't commit any more than that, because that's where your heart is.
And so somebody said, well, I wasn't feeling it. I mean, she's a nice person, but, I wasn't feeling a connection. It's because you did not allow the totality of you to be in it to get the connection.
Absolutely.
Okay, truck drivers can get love too. When I say God can do the impossible, God can do the impossible. God can do the impossible. So,
and we're an example of that.
Yeah.
I mean, my platform, my profile was on a website that I hadn't been on in 5 years.
Yeah. We probably need to tell is we had a whole we're about to hit 19,000 subscribers. Y'all are just amazing. Like amazing. This is like crazy, 19,000 subscribers. And so we've gotten an influx in the last month, and we were probably thinking we should probably just give a rundown really quickly before we jump off, a rundown of our story. Since there's a lot of new names on here, just in case y'all have not heard while we can believe the impossible. Yeah. So, Terrence, for those of you who don't know our story, I'm 55. Terrence, how old are we now?
Oh, no, you didn't go there. I'm 57.
You 57?
I'll be 58 in a couple months.
Okay, so this is how beautiful this is. Okay, so I was in a place where it was 2018. I was in a situation where I had got that last phone call from the ex that made me say enough is enough. It had been cycles This ex was married, as he said, happily married, but he missed his friend. And every year, periodically, definitely during the holidays, but this particular year, it was in the summertime, and he called and he was dealing with something, and he said he really needed to talk to his friend. He said, I really, thank you so much. He said, I really want to talk to my friend. And it was on a Thursday. I'll never forget this. It was on a Thursday. And so he made it, he prefaced it by saying, yes, I'm still married. I'm happily married, but there's some things that I know that you can, so I was like, okay. So I heard him out, and that was a Thursday, and then gave him some advice because that's what I do. And the next day, he called again. He like text during the day. That evening, which was Friday evening, he called me again, and he called me, and it sounded like he was like in his driveway before he was going in the house with his wife. So we were talking about it again. He wanted to make a business decision, but it had personal feelings in it. And so the next day, Saturday, he texts me early Saturday morning. And at that point, I felt like I was cheating. I felt like I was committing adultery. And I said, and I didn't return the text. I said, Lord, I don't know what this is, but it doesn't feel right. And I want my person. I am sick of this cycle. I don't want to do this. And so I never responded to the text. And I promise you, right hand to God, we don't, he and I never even follow each other on social media. I haven't heard from him since that day. That Saturday, I was scrolling through Facebook, and I saw somebody had posted an article, and it said the three best dating sites to meet people that got the best like success rate or whatever. Two of the sites I was familiar with because I had been on the site 10 years ago where I had met the ex at one of the sites, and but I hadn't been on a dating site for like 10 years. And one of the sites I wasn't familiar with, and I said, you know what? I talked to myself. I said, you know what? Let me go ahead and just try this dating site. So I signed up for like a 30-day membership, and I went on the dating site, and I was like, no, none of these people, none of them is going to work. I don't like none of these men. Ill. No, no. There was one profile that came, and it said, it was an email that said this was like a high percentage of a match. It was like over 95%. And I opened up the profile. It was Terrence's profile. I opened it up. I was like, oh wow. I was like, okay, he's 50 years old. It said 50 on his profile. I said, he's 50 years old. I said, okay, I'm 48. And I was like, okay. I read everything. It was like everything on that, the picture grabbed me, but everything that he had written in his profile was like, it was almost like I was reading myself. It was very straight to the point. It was sharp. It was like, I'm no nonsense. You could tell he was a military guy before he even said it. He was like, no nonsense. He said, I'm going to tell you right now, I'm God fearing. So if that's not you, deuces. That's where we got that from, deuces. He was like, I'm not interested in going to dinner with you, maybe an early lunch. It was just like he said, and he was just like, it was like very, very sharp. And every time I was reading, I was like, oh, I like him. Like he is very sure of himself. And so how, social media, dating site etiquette is, the women, you look at the profile, but you want him to know that you looked at it. He can see that you looked at it, which would prompt him, if he's interested, to reach out. So I sat back and I was like, okay, I'm waiting for him to contact me. And he didn't. He didn't contact me. And so about 2 weeks later, I said, it was about, I don't know, it was a couple of days, 2 weeks later, maybe a couple of weeks later. I said, okay, I'm going to send an emoji. So I sent like a heart just to, get his attention because the platform kept sending me as a match. That was the only one he kept sending. The platform kept sending me like, this is a match. And so I sent the heart, no response. So by then my membership was about to run out. So I said, you know what, let me just go ahead and extend my membership. So I extended it for like 90 days or something. It was at that point, it was like going into the holidays. And so he didn't respond. So I realized, I got another match. Got another match, and I was like, okay, well, forget that guy. I like this guy. I look at this profile. It was Terrence. It was a different picture, and it was like similar words, but it was, you could tell that the second profile was a little bit more outdated. So he had been on this site for a while, and so but still no response. And so as Terrence would do, honest, a very man of integrity. Everybody else got aliases. He had his full name, Terrence Smith, as his profile name, which made me, go ahead and Google him. And so when I Googled him. So I let the membership run out. I Googled him, and he came up on Facebook. And so I sat on that information. I looked through his yes, it was a monitoring spirit. I looked, through his Facebook, and I was even more impressed, even looking through his Facebook page. Very, very, like, very simple, but just the few words he said meant a lot. And so for a couple, like for 2 or 3 months, I was like, okay, well, I'm not going to, contact him or anything. And something said around the first of the year, it was a New Year's, and something said, in the midst of that time though, I had a dream, and I dreamt that Terrence was he was at my house in Raleigh, and he was a guest there, and he was in my guest bedroom, and he was lying in the bed, and the room was dark. The bedroom was very dark, and I peeked in the room, and I looked beside him in the dream, and there was a safety pin that was open, and so I went and closed the safety pin, and I covered him with the covers, and I went out the room, and I closed the door, and that dream stuck in me. That dream was, it just really just stuck in me. So a couple of months later, I said, well, I got up the nerve, and so one Saturday morning, I went on Facebook, and I DM'd him, and I said, hi. I said, I usually don't do this. I did the emoji like this. I said, I usually don't do this, which I didn't. I said, I usually don't do this, but I met you. I saw your profile on such and such dating site. I said, and I saw that you had never viewed, because the site showed me that he had never viewed my profile or any of my response emojis or whatever. And I said, I don't know if you're still on that site, and I don't know if you're married. I said, but if you're in a relationship, or if you're married, please totally disregard this message. Please totally disregard. I said, but I'm just curious, because it said that we have a high, we're highly compatible. My mother's on here. My mother can attest. Jill don't do stuff like this. That's not my personality. I had so much pride. First of all, not only did I have pride, I suffered from rejection bad. And so I was the one, I will reject you before you reject me, because that's how bad I had the spirit of rejection. So for me to do this was so outside of me. And so I did it. And so and as a couple of, was it a day or so later, he responded. What'd you say?
I said that that you deserve a conversation.
Yeah, he said, well, at least I can do is give you a conversation. But let me tell you how God works. Let me tell you how God works. Okay, first of all, Terrence said he said, oh my, I hadn't been on that dating site in about 5 years. So the dating site was running his profile. And just to keep, I'm telling you how this is so slick, because they will keep you renewing the membership, because you're waiting for the person to respond to you. So he said you said you hadn't been on that dating site for years. So, but let me tell you how God works. So when I reached out to Terrence on Facebook, when he responded to me through the DM, it automatically sent me a friend request from him. So I was like, oh, okay, he's requested me as a friend. So I, accepted his friend request. So he says to me, he said, "Oh, well, the least we can do is have a conversation." I haven't been on. That was really all he said. "The least we can do is have a conversation." I haven't been on that site in about 5 years. And I said, "Okay." I said, "Well, listen, I have family about to come into town because my sister was about to pull up. It was like New Year's weekend or something. So my family's coming." I said, "But I said in a couple days I'll circle back because that was the pride kicking in." The real Jill was kicking in. I'll circle back with you and we can reconnect. And he was like, "Cool, that's fine." About a week later, I went DM'd him again. I said, "Hey," I didn't give him my phone number, but I said, "Hey, whenever you're ready to have a conversation, let me know." And he never, that was in January. He never, oh, I can say he never, because that would be a lie. So he went silent. He went silent. He didn't respond. And I was like, so I was caught between two things because one, I was like, okay, well, he must be busy because he requested me as a friend. So I'm gonna give him the benefit of the doubt. Like, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. Like, at least we Facebook friends. He didn't post a lot, but he requested me as a friend on Facebook, and I was like, okay, it's gonna be what it's gonna be. And whenever he's ready, he or not, he'll come around. And so that was like in January. And then I saw him in May. He posted, "Happy Mother's Day to all my sisters," and "Happy Mother's Day," and I was like, "Oh, that's cute. Oh, that's cute." He said, "Happy Mother's Day to his sisters." Oh, that's cute. But at that point, I was like, deuces. Like, I was like, okay, it's. But because I had that dream, I was like, okay, Lord, then you just must do. The reason why you wanted to connect us is because you just must wanted me to pray. So I had committed to praying because I took it as the cover that I was putting over him meant that I was to cover him in prayer. I had saw that he was in a very dark place, a depressive, not depression, but very sad place. And that was another reason why I did not push, like, this guy ain't calling me back. Because the dream had told me literally all that I really kind of need to know. This guy was going through something. He said he wasn't in a relationship. He said he wasn't married, and he was going through something. And I knew not to. Like, one of the things I remember, I'd never forget. It was a message years ago by a preacher. And he said, "Whenever God is taking somebody through their misery, do not get in between it, because it's in their misery that people come to know the Lord." So I knew to leave it alone. And so I just committed to praying for this guy named Terrence, and I'm gonna cover him in prayer. And I started fasting for him. And I said, okay, he's my Facebook friend. He seems like a cool dude. Clearly he ain't for me. And I'm gonna just pray for this dude. And that's what it was. I Every Friday I would fast because I would get little, like I said before, like I would hear people's name called Terrence. Like, I would go to a restaurant and the person's name would be Terrence. And it was just like kind of a reminder, okay, keep praying for this guy because something is going on with this guy. But never in the part where I still thought he was handsome, but never in a position where I thought, that's your husband and you waiting for him. So what happened in those 11 months? Would that be considering making him an idol? I don't think it was an idol because I wasn't my life wasn't hung up on him. I wasn't
She let it go.
I
All she
let
did
it
was pray.
go.
All
Yeah.
she did was pray.
Yeah.
She didn't sit around waiting on
I
him.
didn't. Yeah, when people say you were waiting for him, I wasn't. I thought it was that. Oh, okay. And so this is the other thing. So about August, I was having a conversation with one of my girlfriends who did not know the situation, but she was having an episode, a personal situationship going on, and she told me the story of somebody had come into her DM And she was like, and Jill, you know what makes me so mad? Because Facebook will automatically send a friend request if that person coming. And I was like, so that means that God Terrence didn't send me a friend request? At that point, I was like, what the heck? What am I doing? And like, why am I holding on to this? He didn't even send me a friend request. And so, so I should have deleted him, but some said don't delete him. I just continued to pray for him, but I knew it was a dead situation. Like it was just nothing there, and I was okay with it. Like I was really, really okay with it. And so, yeah.
Yeah, so the big lesson out of what she says so far is something that we've mentioned a while back, but I want to reiterate it since we're talking about this. And that is when you first meet someone, you have to remember that the second before you met that person, they had a life doing something else. They didn't know who you were. I didn't know who she was. I'm busy doing other things. And at the time, the reason why she didn't see me on social media a lot and the reason why I wasn't on that platform a lot is because I had just came through a situation where I was on social media a lot. When I say a lot, every day, all day. And so what I was doing was giving myself a break so I can recharge myself, come up with my new identity with who I wanted to be. And I also wanted to create some distance in between myself and the old me where I was on there all the time.
Let him know he was on there all the time because he was big in multi-level
I was
marketing.
big in multi-level marketing. I was a part of Team Charlotte, and we were on social media all day, every day for almost 10, 11, 12 years straight. So I got burnt out. I got out of that, and I stayed away from social media for a long time just to recover and to recharge my battery. And
But
so when she reached out to me, I was in the midst of doing that. It wasn't about ignoring her. It wasn't about ghosting her.
and
It was
Terrence was
really
gone.
about, yeah, and my son had just left to leave the country. So he was living in New Zealand. So it gave me an opportunity to recharge my own battery and to focus on me, my relationship with God, and really get back in tune with who I wanted to be. So it wasn't about ghosting her. It was about I was in the middle of something else. That's what that was about. But here's the great thing I want you to get out of this as well. Because she was obedient and because she prayed for me and because she didn't delete me in Facebook, it still left the door open. And that's how I was able, when I did reach back out to her, I was able to reach back out to her because she didn't delete me as a friend.
And how did that look?
So it got to a point at the end of that year that she just spoke about, towards the end of the year. As a matter of fact, it was around Thanksgiving time. I actually, sitting there, Thanksgiving at home chilling, decided to get on social media. That's when I saw that she had sent me a message almost a year earlier that I hadn't even responded to. And so I took a chance. And I tell you this, I felt like she was going to cuss me out. That's what I said to myself. I said, oh, it's been almost a year. She's going to cuss me out. But then I told myself it'd be worth it. If she do, I'm okay with that because I needed to be cussed out after not reaching out to her in a year. So I reached out to her anyway. Took a chance, took a faith move, and reached out to her. And she was very receptive. She was like, something to the effect of, did you mean to send this to me or something?
That's what I said. He sent me a DM. I was like, are you sending this to the right person? Because I was one of those.
Yeah. And I said
That was
yes.
my version of cussing him out. Like, did you send this to the right person?
And I said yes.
He sent me a flower. He sent me a picture of a white rose, and it was something like thinking of you and hoping your day is beautiful, something like that. And I was like, and that was, I said, hello, but did you mean to send, thank you so much, y'all. I said, did you mean to send this to me?
Yeah. And because she was receptive Of course, that made my day because, like I said, I was already prepared to get a cussing out, and I didn't. And long
Yeah.
story short, we've been talking ever since.
But he also, Terrence, you gotta also be, because before he went in the DM, there was a couple of weeks, or maybe it was months, where he looked through my profile.
Oh yeah,
So
oh yeah.
he, so
I
before
will
he,
say yeah. I will say this now. Yeah, I left a lot out, and what one of the things I left out was there was something about her. When I realized she was in my group of friends, you know how on Facebook you know who your friends are, and as I'm strolling, I came across this picture of her. And I went in to her profile. I read everything she wrote about herself, what she posted. I looked at all her pictures, all of those things. And over that year, although I never spoke to her, I saw her picture and her profile probably at least 4 or 5 times. And when I say 4 or 5 times, I mean going through reading every single word that she wrote about herself to the point to where now she's on my mind. She's on my mind. And that's what gave me the courage to actually make that faith move and reach out to her around Thanksgiving.
yes. So Thanksgiving night was one of the happiest days of my life. Well, go
So
ahead.
when y'all talk about, when we hear, I won't say y'all, when we hear or see comments from people talking about how long they would wait, it really make me cringe because it makes me think, then you ain't ready. Because if you're allowing God to order your steps and he haven't gotten you to where you think you should be, you may not want to worry about the time that it's taking and
Thank
worry about
you.
what type of pruning he's doing with you or what type of pruning he's doing with the other person. So many people are starting to get so locked in on time, you can miss your blessing because you're trying to rush things.
So he came into my DM, and that's the other lesson, real quick. You don't know who's watching you. You don't know who's watching you. He came into my DM, and uh, we went back and forth for a couple of weeks just through the DM.
Mm-hmm.
And then we made a date to talk to each other on the phone. So it was actually, because it was before Thanksgiving that we started talking. So we made a date the day after Thanksgiving to talk to each other
Mm-hmm.
on the phone because we were long distance. So we made a date. We started talking to each other on the phone. And that, talking to each other on the phone and texting, that was like 8 months before
Yeah.
seeing each other.
Yeah. We talked almost a full year before we even saw each other for the
Saw
first
each
time face to
other.
face.
Right. So, also during that time we was going through the pandemic. We was getting ready to go through the pandemic. So that put some gap between us. When we finally made the date for Terrence to come up to see me, Terrence came up to see me, and from that date, 6 months later, exactly, 6 months later, exactly, Terrence proposed. But let me tell y'all something. Hold on. Wait a minute.
Let me share something while she's looking this up. Here is something that's very powerful. Because I was going to see her where she lived, every time we saw each other after that first time, I was going to see her. She was making the plans because I was in her neck of the woods. I didn't know how to drive, how to get to certain places. So she was always telling me where to go, or she would drive because she knew where we were going. As soon as she came to see me, and I started making the plans, the second time she came to my place, I proposed to her.
Okay. So takes me into the point. Terrence proposed to me December 12th, 2020. Thank you.
Thank you.
He proposed to me on December 12th. Y'all listen to this. Terrence proposed to me on December 12th, 2020. December 13th, 1995. That year, I had made a faith move from Maryland. I needed a change. I had friends who lived in Charlotte, never knew nothing about Charlotte. That summer, I came down, summer of 1995, I came down to Charlotte. Because I could not find a job, talking about one of the saddest days of my life, I had to make a decision to leave Charlotte and move back to Maryland. When my family came, my parents came to get me, helped me move back to Maryland. It was December 13th, 1995. When I tell y'all, I felt like I was leaving my soul in Charlotte, North Carolina. I couldn't explain it. I said, something says I supposed to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. I supposed to be in Charlotte, North Carolina. 25 years later, it was so hurtful that I had to leave Charlotte. I didn't want nothing to do with North Carolina. I don't even want to ride through North Carolina. Wherever I got to go, fly me over North Carolina, because it was that painful that I had to leave. But I got an opportunity to come back to North Carolina, and I ended up taking the opportunity in 2014, taking the opportunity. I was living in Raleigh when I met Terrence, who lived in Charlotte, North Carolina. 25 years later to the day, Terrence proposed marriage. And so you don't know how God, and we call that providence. That is what you call providence.
That's what we call providence.
That's when God, every step you're making is being ordered by the Lord. Every step that you make in life is being ordered by the Lord. You don't know how He's doing things. And we get so caught up in only the things that which we know and our own understanding. And that's why when people say, well, what did you do for those 11 months between the time you went in his DM and between the time lived? Like, one thing I know, I trust God. I trust God. I trust how, if he said, no, that ain't the one, okay. I trust God. Keep it moving. Keep it moving. It was a win-win for me regardless. I had no idea this guy was going to come in my DM. No idea. And no idea that a year later, I was going to be his fiance. And 18 months after that, 16 months after that, we got married. So it was a process. When we say, what we named this? In the fullness of love, in the fullness of love, all of it is ordering yourself. All of it is love. All of it. You're going. It's when you submit and surrender to God. It's a love affair. It's a totally love affair. It is a love affair.
And that's why you got to be obedient to the point to where you are obedient even when you don't understand why God is ordering you to do something, why God is directing your path to do something. Now, someone asked me on here what made me propose to her the second time that she came to see me. I wasn't counting. I didn't realize it was the second time. Here's the thing about me. I have sisters, a lot of sisters. I've always heard them talk about worrying about their commitment and them being committed more than the guy is. So one of the things I paid attention to was I didn't want her stressed out thinking that she was falling for me and I wasn't falling for her. So I made sure that I tried to communicate that as much as I could to her, to let her know you ain't in this by yourself. So I went and got a ring.
Look, I don't mean to say it, but I wasn't even a girlfriend.
Oh, and you know what? When I proposed to her, it was right after me telling her, guys are stressed out when we propose because y'all ask us 100 questions and you don't answer the question that we just asked you.
It literally went from, I'm enjoying the friendship. Oh, we having fun.
And that's exactly what she started asking me.
I went from we having fun talking and enjoy. I was just enjoying coming down to Charlotte, making trips to Charlotte, and I turned into a fiance on a Saturday night. No type of bells and whistles. It was the perfect proposal, like
She's
just
like,
him and I.
I've
But I'm
never even been a
like,
girlfriend.
I've never been a girl. You didn't even ask me to be your girlfriend. And so
See, that's why you don't put titles on it.
that's what I said. You don't. That's what I'm saying. You don't know how things, people's, your love story. You know, it may not be black and white. Ours wasn't black and white. There were gray areas. They were, but you'll know because it'll be effortless. It will be.
I would say this. If you're doing this, stop doing it. And that is stop saying what you won't do or what you won't ever do. Because when God introduces you to the right person, all those things you claim you wasn't going to do, you're going to do. Why? It don't make any sense. It don't make any sense because you're going to do those things for the right person. You won't do them for everybody. And we all can agree to that. But when you're with the right person, you're going to find yourself saying things that you once heard yourself say you would never ever do for
Right.
anybody.
Right.
That don't apply when you're with the right person.
Yes. All right, we got to jump off because our people wait. They already over there because they done heard this story 15 million times. So they already over in the group. So those of you who are in the private group, we will meet you over there because we got some things to talk about. So, but y'all.
Hey, until the next one, we see you guys on
Yes,
the next one.
we
So
love
stay
y'all.
amped up because you're closer than you think.
Yes, and you don't know who's watching you. And guess what? You can log off of here, and the person that you might be admiring could be in your DM. You just don't know. All things are possible. All right, y'all be blessed.
Deuces.
Deuces.